Guys, hello. Welcome to our coaching call. It is Abby, your favorite wellness coach, and today I'm going to give you a wake-up call. Let's talk about you've added wellness treatments to your menu. IVs, peptides, shots, labs, hormones, GLP-1s, you name it. But now they're just sitting there. You're watching these vials expire. You're watching your marketing dollars burn. And when you ask your providers, did you even mention it? They shrug their shoulders, right? This isn't about just adding something to your menu. This is about building this into your workflows, your process. So today we're really going to jump into the how. All right, we're not going to talk big things, memberships, programs. We're really going to start with the chair, with your provider, and with your processes. So, what do you do when someone walks in for tox, filler, microneedling, or threads? Okay, how do you move them into wellness without selling like it's a side item, right? An add on. We want to make sure that we're speaking to our clients about this, because if you're waiting for your clients to ask you for these services, you're already too late. Okay, so we need to prescribe full outcomes, and we're not just pushing services. So I work with clinics all across the country, med spas, functional wellness clinics, and ultimately when they come to me, some of the biggest things that I see immediately is their process. And I've really, they've launched without a plan. They've decided that there was a shiny object, and you know what that's like. You've probably got equipment sitting in the corner of your clinic that's just gathering dust because your injector, your esthetician, your provider had to have this machine, and they told you it was going to make you so much money. But ultimately, it just sits there. And the same thing can happen with your wellness treatment stack. So ultimately, this is the future, metaesthetics and wellness. And we want to make sure that we're giving clients real results. And that's how we're going to see success when we launch these programs. So ultimately, as I say, every call, I'm your ideal client, that dirty word, perimenopause, menopause. You have a ton of clients like me in your clinic. That are dying literally for these wellness treatments. But ultimately, let's talk about my 21-year-old daughter who is utilizing some of these things, my 30-year-old friends who are trying to maintain as their levels start to deplete. There is a huge market in this industry, and a lot of these clients are sitting right in your database. So as we kind of look at this, what is it that you're getting wrong? Let's start there first, and then we'll look at how to do it right. So one of the things is that you've added the wellness treatment to your menu, but you have no protocols. You have no process. You didn't build it into your workflows. You didn't set any goals. There was nothing there but adding it to the menu, putting it on your website. Your team has not been trained to talk about it confidently. There was no team training. There was no understanding. You had your one provider that's performing the treatment learn about it and expecting that to grow your entire clinic or practice. Your IVs are optional and not integrated. We're not coupling them with our proper treatments or the treatment plan, and we're not building it into our consultation process. You're still in the mode of would you like an add-on? And let's support your treatment and your results from the inside out, right? Talking from your front desk team to your providers. And your marketing there, you're getting great results, right? You're getting all of these leads, but the front end experience doesn't support the process. All right, so I like to call this, when we're launching, these are your biggest mistakes, right? And you just assume that people are going to come to you because everyone's talking peptides. Everyone wants to lose weight, but that's not the case, right? We're not a one-off clinic. It's not 2015. We're not selling packages. We really need to look at, from the chair, from your provider, from your process, how to start this off and get great results. I call it my 4-step plan. And the very first thing that you're going to do when you ever think about adding a wellness treatment or any treatment to your practice is you have to create. Create, what does that mean? You are going to get the treatment. You're going to create the protocol. You're going to build out the process of how this is incorporated into your everyday. How does it incorporate into your membership? How do we incorporate it into our marketing? How are we going to incorporate it into education for our clients? So when you think about this, before you ever train your team, before you ever launch it, you have to create the process, your SOP. You have to really understand how this fits your practice. Number two, this is going to be your train. The second phase. You want to train your team, not just the provider performing the service, but you're going to train your front desk team. You're going to train your MAs. You're going to train your estheticians. You're going to train everyone in your practice to understand that this is a focus. We're launching something, we're creating something, and ultimately making sure that they can educate others on this, regardless of whether they can perform the treatment or not. My third phase is always going to be implementation. Putting it on your menu and then training your team to do it is one thing, but what is the implementation? What does that plan look like? So you want to make sure that we have a set date, go date. What is our go date? And then we want to set goals for the team. I want to see this in every consultation. I want to see you talking about this in your treatment records. I want to make sure I see this in my CRM and in the questions and answers, and we're recommending it or we're asking questions and have you heard? The implementation phase is big because we've set the goals and we have the understanding that our team members are able to speak to it. And the fourth phase is auditing. This is where your practice managers are coming into play. Your team leads come into play. You're auditing those treatment plans. You're auditing those treatment records. You're looking and running numbers. What is the percentage of revenue that's generating from this? How many times is it being recommended? Are we talking to the team about it on a regular basis in our daily huddles, in our monthly team meetings? These are the 4 steps that you're going to need to do to make sure that you launch your wellness program with success. This could go for this model could go for any plan that you offer, any treatment that you bring on in your clinic or med spa, but especially it's important for wellness because we don't know what we don't know. Our clients don't know what they don't know. And if you say peptide one more time and people go, I don't even know if it's an MG or ML, it's crazy, right? There just needs to be education across the board, and it has to be a plan to make sure that you can launch with success because there's a lot of ROI when you launch these treatments properly. So aesthetics and wellness aren't going anywhere. This isn't something where you throw a GLP-1 on your menu or you throw hormones because your clients are going to want more, and your competitors are giving more. They're giving them all the things that they need. But what you can start with is baby step into this world. Most of you already have your feet wet, right? You are in there, you're giving your GLP-1s, you're creating your proprietary treatments, you're doing hormones, but you don't really understand the process. Like, what is it? It's not just a tox treatment. It's not just another facial. It's not just a laser treatment, right? In wellness, it's always the big picture. It's the pain points and it's the results. It's the solution. Wellness equals solution. It doesn't equal, well, I'll just try it and see how it works, right? They're leaning on you to solve a problem. And so we work with our clients, and I work with my clients here to determine, where do we start? Where's the first place that we can give a win? And back in the day, we all started with IVs and would let them expire on our shelves because we didn't build it into the process. So regardless of whether you're starting with IVs, you're starting with IM shots, you're jumping into peptides, you're looking at, your GLP-1s, you're starting with pellets, hormones, you want to make sure that you have a plan of action and that you can build that out to create success. Okay, for me, I'm on all of it. I'm doing all of it. And with my clients, I'm seeing a huge return on revenue, a large return on revenue when we do it properly because it's a bigger system. Okay. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you have your wellness interest questionnaire. We've all heard of our aesthetic interest questionnaire. And if you haven't, well, then you definitely need to hire me. But your wellness interest questionnaire is really important because if they're coming in for talks, we want to be looking at the other options that they can take part in our clinic to give them better skin, to give them better health. One of my biggest, guys, pain points as a fractional manager is when I see a client or a before and after who had great results with full facial balancing and filler and injectables, and ultimately their skin looks terrible. How can I post that to my before and after? I can't. How can I post that to my social media, or use it as a client testimonial, right? There's a bigger picture to be had here. And when you ultimately solve for all the pain points and give the client what they don't even know they need to know, price becomes irrelevant, and they're going to travel as far as they need to see you. Okay. And so I work with several clinics around this country, and I know I already have 2 plane tickets ready to be booked because I want their proprietary treatments because I'm going to travel to see them. When you know what you're going to get and you're guaranteed those results because you've seen their success, it makes it really easy to launch this. So you have to build in that questionnaire in the beginning and really build out a plan. anti-aging. If we're talking anti-aging, you've got to think about inflammation, hormone imbalances, gut dysfunction, right? If you're looking at really getting them to an anti-aging point where they're aging backwards, you've got to take this into consideration. And get me, guys, listen, microneedling is not going to solve chronic stress, cortisol levels, or dehydration, right? You can microneedle the crap out of something and never get it to where you really want if you're not looking at these other systems and incorporating your IMs, your IVs, right? So jumping in one by one and really implementing that because your patients are smarter. Listen, they're Googling this stuff. They're looking up these root causes. They're even showing up with questions. So making sure that you are prepared and you've built it into your system to do that discovery and pull it from them is really important because we're not just creating the face anymore, guys. We're truly creating systems. So you're either in the conversation with these treatments or these treatments are invisible in your practice, right? They're sitting on yourselves. They're not being implemented. You're waiting for the client to ask for that peptide, or you're waiting for the client to say, hey, I'd like to lose a little bit of weight. Build it into your system so that is irrelevant and that is not part of the process. So this is what it looks like when you nail it, when you truly get it right. We're starting from the chair. We're starting. So your client, they come in, they book a microneedling appointment. They've done their consultation. We're in the consultation, and then your provider doesn't ask, but provides the IV that's going to complement that treatment, right? Let's pair it with glutathione. Let's add zinc. All right, we're going to reduce the inflammation and we're going to speed up healing. Well, of course, who doesn't want that? A no is always a no unless you ask. But in the treatment room, we never ask as providers. As a medical esthetician, I never ask you what you want in the treatment. I prescribe for you to get you to the point where you're going to see the results that you want. Okay, so this is not about selling, guys. This is about smart medicine. So, understanding and following up with your care plan, this is going to include weekly B12 shots, collagen support, a peptide protocol. This is all coming from a microneedling interest, guys. All right, your front desk already has it queued up. They're ready to go at checkout. Now, it's not just about skin. It's about full body optimization. And she's not going to go anywhere, right? Because now she's receiving all of these treatments and her results are off the charts because now we're working from the inside out and the outside in. And when you combine the two, that's where you see success. So the biggest thing I see from the very beginning is that we're waiting for clients to ask. We're not prescribing because we're not educated. Okay. So you can no longer just be a provider. You have to be a partner in the transformation. My functional med doctor is my friend. I lean on her tremendously, right? Every 3 months, we look at my labs, doing my review, we're changing up my treatment, and we're looking at my supplementation stack. I'm relying on her to to help me to maintain. And so you think I'm going to go anywhere else? Never, 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 right? It has become a really pivotal piece of my daily, monthly, a weekly, or yearly care. So what do you need to do it right? So let's start. First tip, 10 to 15 minutes weekly, do an internal wellness education with your team. What are we focusing on? What is that treatment we're going to start with? What is that we're going to now? How can we transition, right? What are our pathways and scripting? Do you have pathways and scripting? Guys, if you're throwing marketing dollars towards any of this treatment stack, you want to make sure that every single team member, provider or not, understands the pathway for that client. They come in for this treatment, but we're recommending this. So something that I really, really like to do when I first was really focused just in med aesthetics and some of my med spas is I did a weekly medical grade skin challenge. And so what that would look like is I would give them a product. I would give them, as much time as they needed, up to 3 days. Come on, let's be real. And I wanted them to come back and be able to tell me, what does it do? How is it used? Who is it good for? When do we use it? How much does it cost? And what treatment would it pair perfectly with? If you can tell me that in 30 seconds, boom, you're good. You get that medical grade skincare item. We should be doing the same thing with wellness. If you are stacked in med spa treatments, start with what do we want to add on and what of our treatments would it pair perfectly with, right? Microneedling and IVs, right? Tox. Like if you think about it in terms of that, create that cheat sheet for your clients, right? Or for your providers so that they can look at it and they can pair those things up, understanding what that looks like. So really challenging them to educate themselves. create these plug and play pairings that I'm just saying, right? Like threads, arnica, collagen peptides, microneedling and glutathione, tox, B12, and adrenal support all work really well together. Make sure you're talking in terms of solutions. And not just saying, hey, would you like to add on a peptide? Well, of course they would. So prescribe it to them in a plan that makes it so that you can guarantee those results, but it's monitored and everybody understands it. You also want to incorporate this, guys, into your workflows. All right. So your wellness recommendations. Let's talk treatment plans. As a provider, my go-to formula is where are we going to start? Where are we going to go over the next 3 months? And what is it that I need to maintain or get better results? And I require in the clinics that we offer wellness, if they're coming in for aesthetics, you have to recommend the wellness product that's going to pair. If they're coming in for wellness, I'm going to recommend the aesthetic product that's going to pair well with them. If they want to look good, they want to feel good. If they want to feel good, they want to look good. We know this. So putting that together in a plan that is, achievable for them and starting small, start with 3 months. Is what I recommend. So really, what is it that you require of your providers to truly, truly do? Also, when we look at refrain from doing just the protocol driven, refrain from doing things that aren't protocol driven. It's not optional. So I have a client that is facial first. If you're getting a laser treatment, there is no laser treatment, no packages sold to you until you come in first. We do an in-depth skin, a facial. We look at your skin. We really put together the right package. We pair it with the right medical grade skincare, wellness stack, whatever that looks like to make sure that we're giving you the best results. So think of it like that in terms of your biohacking packages, right? We want to be protocol driven. We want to make sure that it's not optional and that we're putting it together for your clients because they pair well. We know that one system affects the next. So wellness isn't just an add-on, guys. It's an infrastructure of results. So making sure that we're auditing this. That was that fourth phase, right? Of auditing your processes, making sure that your clients or making sure your providers, I keep saying clients because that's who I have, making sure your providers are truly looking at, are they writing down are they creating this in their quotes? Are they not documenting this or treatment records? Did they talk to them and make recommendations to the clients? Or did they let the client come in for tox, filler, and they never recommended the other treatments that way they would truly benefit from? So some things you're truly not doing. The cheat sheet. Make sure you have a cheat sheet in every single room. I call it my protocol Bible. I love this when you're incorporating wellness because if you're focused and really dialed in to your med spa treatments, you want to make sure that your cheat sheet is there and you have your pathways from this treatment to this treatment, from this treatment to this treatment, and making those recommendations so that your providers, even out of the scope of their practice, can speak to this and then get them in front of the person who can actually put their protocols together. Are your IVs and IMs listed in your paperwork and your checklist? So are these wellness treatments are you interested in? Did you know, right? Like making sure that from the very beginning, we're talking about this. Another great way is that from appointment booking to appointment confirmation to check-in, our front desk team, our concierge team is absolutely asking, would you like to add on? Could you add on an IV? Would you like to add on that? They can ask. I'm fine with that. But if I hear my providers ask if they would like, that drives me crazy. You are supposed to prescribe for them. So if it is in your scope of practice, I am looking for you to build this treatment plan, make recommendations, talk about it, tell stories, and really look at those case studies. Are you prescribing your IVs with your post-care treatments when you're talking about laser and filler? We know that they can enhance those. We know that that's a pathway. So building that in, so that's next steps. And really educating your client or your providers. Are you case studies? I just said this. Are you utilizing your case studies, giving real results to your clients with your aesthetic and wellness stack together? This is really, really, really important. Those testimonials are important. So if you're not building in the request for testimonials, when clients like me are super happy, smiling, and glowing, with these additional treatments, that's going to really help you to educate your clientele in all of the options they can come, and that's going to make them hungry to find out more. Are your coordinators comfortable talking about peptides, hormones? Right? Is your front desk team or your MAs, everyone in your clinic should be able to speak to this. And do you have your marketing pathways and scripting put together? remember, if you're going to launch a program, you definitely have to have a marketing action plan. You definitely have to have a team that's ready to drive those leads to you. But again, that front end revenue, making sure that your pathways and scripting for this appointment are together. You're not going to see the success of launching your wellness treatment without that piece. It's pivotal to success. So if your team doesn't truly understand and they can't prescribe it, then your client is not going to understand why they need it and altogether. So, your wellness ladder, like if we truly look at the bigger picture, right? We're going to start with training our team, making sure we're educating on the why and the how. Number one, pair it, bundle it with your aesthetic treatments. It's not optional, right? Every time I do a consultation, I have non-negotiables, right? This is not optional. This is part of it. If you really truly want this, we're going to add this on, and then you can look into other pathways to get them, so they can afford it or make sure that it's attainable for them. Prescribing. You're going to include the charting and the post-care process by prescribing the treatments that are going to give them the best results. Your providers are always prescribing when it comes to wellness. You're going to reinforce your front desk team and your follow-up process. You've got to have those built in wellness to make sure that we're adhering to the proper protocols and we're making sure that they're compliant. Very, very important. And then we want to scale. Once you start looking into this and build out your processes, you're going to be able to really fine-tune your inventory, your protocol, and your repeatability. That repeatability is an entire nother talk on memberships, pathways, and programs. But that's where you're really going to scale and you're going to see long-term revenue consistently month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. Okay. So this isn't just better medicine, guys. It's better business. All right. So the way that you do this is you educate yourself, you educate your team, and then you ultimately educate your clients. But because we all want to feel good, we all want everything that you're offering. So if these things are truly expiring or sitting on your shelves, it's a you problem. It's not your client's problem. It's not necessarily even your provider's problem. You as the owner, you as the manager, it's your job to put into place this process to make sure you can maximize every touch point you have with that client, from lead to follow-up. So essentially, that's what we do here, right? That's what I do every day with my clients is let's talk about where we're going to start and then where we want to go and then how we're going to finish and then how we're going to celebrate when we win. So wellness is not new, guys. All right. It's not about adding the treatment or even sometimes understanding it. So a lot of you understand peptides right now because we're learning quickly. A lot of you understand hormones or GLP-1s, but what you don't understand is how to integrate it. What you don't understand or implement it, or what you don't understand is how to audit it. What you don't understand is how to really dive in and see what's successful and what's working and fine tune and refine it so that it's a well-oiled machine and it just runs without you. Okay, so you really want to make sure you're dominating in this industry by doing those things if you're going to be truly successful in wellness. All right, so you don't need to overhaul your business, guys. I'm not saying we need to create an add-on 10 rooms. We don't need to do a rehaul of our practice. We start small and we implement. And with everyone, we have all of our phases: create, train, implement, and audit. Okay, so if this hits home with you guys, please comment wellness. You can comment wellness with your email address. If you're live on social, just comment wellness. And we'll hit you up with some information you can book a strategy session with me. I can reach out to you or with any of your consultants here at Diamond Accelerator. We would love to help you take your game to the next step or even work on your protocols as well. So make sure you drop wellness with your email address in the chat for me or in the comments, and we'd love to give you some more information or help you build this out. This is truly an industry that's not going anywhere, guys. It's absolutely staying with us. So if any of you have any questions right now, I'd love to answer those while we wrap up. If there's anyone that would like to ask a question, I'd be happy to. And while I'm at it, I'd like to say hi to Injector Whitney, somebody else whose name I can't pronounce. There's lots of people on Instagram, social media that are joining us. Let's see, Nicole, Chelsea. All right. If you are a wellness guru and all your aesthetics is struggling, same principles can be applied, right? Yes, all of this can be applied to your aesthetics. So let's talk about this. If you are a wellness clinic and you're just dipping your toes into aesthetics, just flip-flop it. It's the same process. The difference between aesthetics and wellness is the aesthetics world is a little bit more well ingrained into our population, right? Everyone's really familiar with tox. Everyone's really familiar with filler. So it's a little bit easier sell when you're like, okay, now that we've built out your wellness, now that your skin looks great, now that you're feeling well, let's really, when you look in the mirror, let's take that and let's shift it, and let's get you into some of our. That's such an easier pathway than going from topical to wellness. And I always this is what I say for my, it's like my microneedling spiel. Whenever I'm talking to someone about microneedling, like you understand your epidermis and your dermis, and as you age, your dermis starts to cave. And what we need to do is we need to restore the dermis, right? Because the epidermis is never going to look good until your dermis is healthy and whole. And so I use that same philosophy when I'm talking about wellness, right? We can truly topically fill you with every injectable, every filler, do every thread, do every laser treatment. But if we're truly not solving for your inflammation, your gut dysfunction, all of these other things that can heal your skin, you're never truly going to get to the level that we want to get you to without incorporating these treatments. And so if you're able to educate on that, that's kind of the system that I use, is really looking at that same methodology. You're putting a lot of money into this treatment. So let's go ahead and look at the bigger picture. And then that's where the next phase two of all of this, is you build in now your memberships and your programs to make sure that it's attainable for them. Do we have any other questions while we're going here? Any questions? Any questions? Make sure you comment wellness if you're interested in learning more and breaking down this process from beginning to end, from introduction to the treatment from the chair all the way to long-term commitment from your clients. I'm getting pushback from my SD's help. That's true. I just had this conversation, guys. We were talking NAD, we were talking peptides, and the estheticians were like, "Well, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't believe in it. I don't think this is fair. I don't think this is good. We don't know. You're not this, you're not that." And ultimately, yes, it is outside of their scope of practice, but if I would help you in any way, it would be to educate and really do the research. Look at the case studies, look at the results, look at the testimonials. Take your time, educate your team members to get them on board, to help them build out so that they're recommending this for their clients as well. Because the wellness stack is a huge stream of revenue. But for people like me, everyday people like me, it's also a huge stream of like joy and happiness, right? It gets your clients the results. It's going to keep you long term with your clients. So it's a win-win for everybody, including your SDs who topically are working, but have to understand that your SDs understand that, acne just doesn't come from just like turning 15, right? There's an internal process as well. And I know they speak to that. So you can use some of their other internal practices to move them over to the wellness stack as well. Anything else? Anybody else? All right, guys. Let's do this. Make sure you comment wellness. Reach out to us, DM us, book a strategy session. If your wellness treatment is flatlined, or if you're just wanting to dip your toes and start off with success from the very beginning, make sure you reach out to us. If you love this training, make sure you share it with your team and other med spas and clinics that could benefit. You can always catch the replay on our YouTube channel. To get access to more free trainings that will help you grow in your clinic, visit our link tree and social bio and join us live every Wednesday, 2:30 Central Time, same place, or find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All right, guys.